Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time.
Okay, let's get right into it. Today, we're looking at a really fascinating book by Mark Fisher called Postcapitalist Desire. It's actually a collection of his final lectures, and in them he digs into this huge kind of nagging question for our time, and I bet it's one you've probably felt yourself.
And yeah, there it is. Why does it feel easier to imagine the complete and utter end of the world than just the end of capitalism? I mean, think about it. Dissatisfaction with the way things are is, well, it's pretty much everywhere, right? But when you try to picture a genuine, workable alternative, it's like our minds just hit a wall. It feels almost impossible, like this massive collective failure of imagination.
And here's the thing. This feeling isn't just a personal frustration that we all share. It actually gets used as a political tool. This sense that this is the only way things can be is perfect for shutting down any real critique of the system before it can even get off the ground.
You know that classic cynical jab, right? The one about anti-capitalist protesters tweeting from their iPhones or grabbing a coffee. Well, Fisher takes that seriously. He doesn't just dismiss it as hypocrisy. He sees it as pointing to something much deeper, a really troubling problem with desire itself. He makes the point that libidinally, at the most basic level of what we want, we are already tangled up in, even committed to, the very system we might say we're against.
So what do you call this collective roadblock, this feeling that we can't even begin to imagine a different future? Well, Fisher gives it a name. It's almost like a diagnosis for our entire political moment.
He calls it capitalist realism. And this right here is the absolute core of his idea. It's this pervasive belief that there is simply no viable alternative to capitalism. But the clever part is, it doesn't present itself as an opinion. It presents itself as a fact of reality. It's not one option among many, it's just the way things are, as natural and unchangeable as, say, the weather.
And to be clear, he's not talking about some big conspiracy theory here. It's more like an atmosphere, a feeling in the air that just limits our political imagination before we even get a chance to think. Its main job is to close off the possibility that anything could ever really be different.
Okay, so if it's an atmosphere, how is it maintained? How does it stick around? Well, Fisher argues that the system is incredibly good at surviving because it captures the one thing that could actually challenge it, our desire.
Just think about the counterculture of the 1960s. That was this huge explosion of desire for a totally different way to live, right? Questioning work, demanding collective freedom, all of it. But here's the twist. Capitalism didn't just crush it. No, it was much smarter. It absorbed it. It literally metabolized the rebellion, its fashion, its music, its slogans, and turned it all into just another product.
And this creates what you can think of as a powerful loop, a loop of captured desire. It works like this. First, a real, authentic desire for change pops up. People express it through art, through protests, through culture. But then, the system swoops in, incorporates that expression, repackages it as a cool new style or product, and sells it right back to us. So that original energy, that drive for real change, it gets redirected away from transformation and funneled straight back into consumption. It's a brilliant, self-reinforcing loop.
So, if we're all stuck in this loop, how do we get out? It leads Fisher to this really fundamental question. If our desires are constantly being captured, what would it even take to start wanting something genuinely new?
Now, his answer isn't some simple 5-step plan. It's a tool, a practice, really. Consciousness raising. His point is that just knowing about our situation isn't automatic. That awareness has to be built, it has to be constructed, and it has to be done together, through discussion. And in that process, you don't just identify a problem that was already there, you actually produce something new. And what's produced is a new collective subject, a we. The goal is to go from being a bunch of isolated people feeling vaguely dissatisfied to becoming a we that can act together. This we is both the agent fighting for change and, in a way, it is the change you're fighting for. It's a new, shared way of seeing everything. So in the end, Fisher's work doesn't hand us any easy answers on a silver platter. What it does, though, is give us this incredibly powerful lens, a way to see the hidden connections between what we want, the culture around us, and what we believe is politically possible. And it leaves us with that really crucial question to chew on. If the system we're in is constantly shaping our desires, how on earth do we even begin to desire something new? For the full long-form deep dive into this book and its ideas, follow the link in the description. If you enjoy these explainers, please subscribe and comment with books or topics we should explore next.